This signing is an absolute heist for the Flames. With all eyes on the 2025 NHL Entry Draft, Craig Conroy has been behind the scenes absolutely cooking. After making two amazing draft picks yesterday, our GM has now made a massive signing that many are calling a steal. We're going to get into all that and more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family, and let's talk about this huge signing. And it's huge in more than one way. Obviously, it's huge because of the term, maybe a bit of the salary, as we'll get into in a second. But if you couldn't tell from the thumbnail, you couldn't tell from the intro, it's huge because it comes to a huge man, which is, of course, Kevin Ball. So Puckpedia, of all people or places, whatever you want to call it, was the first ones to break this news. So they said, sounds like Flames and RFA defenseman Kevin Ball are closing in on a 6-year deal at about a $5.35 million cap hit. Crazy. So 6 years, quite a bit of term. Obviously not huge. I know actually the maximum is going to be going down to 7 years in a little bit of time. But 5.35 I think is extremely fair. And if all goes to plan, he could develop into one of the best defensive defensemen in the entire National Hockey League. Put him in the future, maybe beside a guy like, I don't know, Zane Parekh. That could be one of the best defensive pairings in the entire NHL. Yes, I'm getting ahead of myself. Yes, I just want to be happy as a Flames fan. But Kevin Ball was honestly very good last year. He was so dependable. At the beginning of the year, him and Raz were so good as a pairing. They completely fell off in the second half of the season. Kevin Ball obviously dealt with some injuries, which wasn't fantastic, but he still played 73 games and got 20 points. I know that's really tiny. I'll get a better graphic here in a second, but such a great signing. Honestly, Kevin Ball was fantastic. It was in one of the first games of the season, this past season. We were at home and we were playing against the Chicago Blackhawks. That game where Coronato scored a couple times, fantastic to see, and then somehow got sent back down to the AHL. But at that game, I thought Kevin Ball was so good, I started a Kevin Ball chant in the dome, and it kind of caught on a little bit, just Kevin Ball. I absolutely love this guy. I'm stoked that he is going to be back with the Flames for another 6 years. Well, knowing the Flames probably 5.5, but still great to see that. So Chris Johnston, to double it up, said the Flames are signing Kevin Ball to a 6-year extension carrying a $5.35 million AAV. First to report Puckpedia. I know, a little bit surprising, but there you go. It is confirmed. It's not, sounds like they're going to be signing. It is confirmed. Pat Steinberg doubles up 6 years at $5.35 million on an extension for left shot D-man Kevin Ball, something we're a little bit short on. The 6-year range has been the target for both Calgary and Ball from the beginning. So sounds like negotiations were always on course for a deal like this to happen, which honestly is exactly what all of us wanted to see. Now, if I bring up a better graphic of his stats from last season, here we go. So 73 games. I honestly thought he played less. It seemed like when he was injured, it seemed to go on forever because honestly, defensively, we were just so much worse. But he had 3 goals and 17 assists for 20 points, which was a career high for him. That -6 there is not great. That's the one big number. I know the Flames obviously finished with a negative goal differential this past season, but a lot of the time, not his fault. Also, a belated happy birthday to Kevin Ball. Just turned 25 the other day, which is fantastic. Happy birthday to him. He gets a huge payday as his little birthday present here. But over 20 minutes of ice time per game. That -6, again, it was better at the beginning of the year. Injuries and, maybe less chemistry with Raz, or I don't know what was going on with Raz really, or Kevin Ball for that matter, but they both, took a hit to their play, but Kevin Ball's still so good defensively. I'm honestly pumped to have him because he's kind of the type of player we don't have a lot of in the system right now, especially at his height, 6'6". I mean, he's an absolute giant, which is just fantastic to have around. So here's another one that just said it as well. The Calgary Flames are signing RFA defenseman Kevin Ball to a 6-year contract extension worth $5.35 million. A great number, honestly, I think. So Ball was part of the return from the New Jersey Devils in the Jacob Markstrom trade. He notched a career-high 20 points this past season while averaging more than 21 minutes per contest. So not bad. Essentially, the Flames traded Markstrom to the Devils for Kevin Ball, who will now be here for a while, which is fantastic, and Cole Reshny, technically, who we drafted last night. So we'll have to see how he pans out as a Calgary Flame. But great deal it's looking like for the Calgary Flames. Once again, Conroy has absolutely cooked in a deal with the Devils. which is honestly just makes me so happy. So let's take a look at our defensive pairings now. This is according to Daily Faceoff what they're thinking our D pairings could be going into this season, which is interesting because it would mean we're obviously keeping Rasmus Andersson. But keep Ball and Andersson together if Raz is still here. Weegs would play with Parekh. Great D pairing. That could be great experience for Parekh playing with the vet in Weegar. And then Bean and Pahal together as the third pairing as it was last year. We'll have to see. I kind of hope more youngsters get to come in and maybe we'll see more of a Brustevich. His brother was actually drafted just one pick before our 32nd yesterday. I thought there was a chance we could have the duo of Hunter and Henry, but we just, of course, have Hunter. But either way, the D pairings looking pretty solid heading into next season. I like it a lot. If we get into some early reactions from fans, and this is hockey fans, this isn't Flames fans specifically. So one said, he's a really good fourth D-man and the cap is going way up. This is a solid deal. So for anyone who thinks this is an overpay, it's really not with where the cap is and what you need to pay to have a good defensive core. Another guy says 6'7", 25-year-old second pairing D-man. He was a very good for Calgary. This is a good deal. And it honestly is. I mean, is it an absolute heist? Some would say so. It's hard to find players that big and that good for that price these days. So agree. It is a solid deal. It is a good deal for Calgary, and it's a good deal for Ball. Honestly, it's fair. One guy says, what an overpay. People are always going to say that. One guy, interestingly enough, says Raz is done then, which is, I don't know about that because obviously that just means probably Raz isn't going to sign an extension, but that doesn't mean he won't necessarily be playing for the Flames come October. But for the most part, I guess we are running out of cap space to give Raz that big payday he is looking for. So in a way, that is a very realistic comment. More people are saying, so people saying overpay didn't watch a second of Flames hockey last year, and that is so true. Casuals, they don't really watch Flames games. They watch the more popular teams. Your Leafs, your Habs, your Rangers, your Blackhawks, your Bruins, your Red Wings, your whoever else. I just named all the original 16. But either way, it's true. Kevin Ball is so good defensively. This is not an overpay by any stretch of the imagination. Of course, the comment right under that, wholly overpay in all caps. Again, that person probably didn't watch Kevin Ball at all last year. But the last one here I think is just so realistic. So they said, I think it's just right. He's a solid second pairing D-man that's great defensively, and he's only 25. He could be a perfect stay-at-home defenseman to play with guys like Parekh or Brustevich. Give them the chance to pinch a little more and play the offensive game that they're so well known for. So I think having him around as, a guy that can kind of switch between certain players, Raz if we still have him, which looks a little doubtful at this point, but guys like Parekh, guys like Brustevich, I think this is just perfect. The Conroy's plan is coming together perfectly. Huska, I'm sure, is thrilled with this as well. So really, really great signing here for the Flames. Now, if we get into a little bit of draft talk as the NHL draft does resume today and conclude today, let's just do a quick little recap of what happened yesterday. So the Flames had 2 first-round picks. They took Cole Reshney at pick number 18, a center from the Victoria Royals who was crazy in the WHL playoffs. And then they took Cullen Potter, who honestly looks like an absolute steal as well. He was ranked so highly on so many scouting boards, dropped to 32nd, but he was the best skater in the draft and arguably the fastest skater in the draft as well, which is exactly what the Flames need. So super great picks once again. Conroy has cooked at the draft again. Congratulations to these guys and the scouting staff. And if we take a quick look at what picks we have today, so we do have a second rounder. It is the 54th overall pick, so a little bit later in the second round. We have a third round pick at 80th pick, a 5th round at 144, 6th round at 176, and 7th round at 208. So 5 more picks for the Flames today, and we know that the Flames are absolutely going to cook with these. Will they keep up, going for the forward, going for some scoring, trying to add some centers? Are they just going to take the guys that they think are best available? I guess we'll have to see, but let me know down in the comments who you think the Flames will take with the rest of these picks, especially that second rounder there. And speaking of comments, let's get into the comment of the day to wrap up this video, as we love to do here on the channel. Comes from the second of 2 videos yesterday, the Cullen Potter one, and this person just put it perfectly. They said, #in Craig we trust. And boy, do we ever. Some people think he's a terrible manager. The Flames, stuck in the mushy middle, whatever. At least he has a plan and he is executing it. And honestly, I haven't been this excited about the future for the Flames in so long. With last year's draft, with what has happened so far at this year's draft, with these signings happening this summer for guys to lock up for the future like Coronato, now Kevin Ball, this is just so great. In Craig, we trust. In Conroy, we trust. We absolutely love him. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe like you saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.